If you're the kind of guy who watches this content, you clearly want to improve yourself. You want to better your career, better your health, better your dating life, and put yourself in a position where you are living the kind of life that you want to live and you have a sense of fulfillment and purpose in your life. And if you're that kind of guy, what I'm going to share with you in this video is one of the biggest traps that you could fall for that could completely throw you off of your path and cause you to live a life beneath your potential, really just looking at life and realizing what could have been because you made this huge mistake and fell for the first mover woman. So what we're going to do is I'm going to read off a post that I put inside of my school community that discusses this topic, and then I'm going to give you some more context on it. So let's get into it. So the title of the post is "The First Woman is Never the Right Woman." When you start leveling up as a man, women will start showing you interest. Some of you who haven't experienced this yet might not believe it, but it's a fact. You will have success with women if you keep on your path. But an important thing you need to watch out for is the first mover woman. Basically, what happens is that the first women who start showing you interest aren't the best women. It's almost like they are trying to catch you on your way up before another woman who's better has a chance to get you. You'll be 26 and a 35-year-old woman will start showing you interest. She's probably got a kid, or maybe she's looking to exit a current marriage or long-term relationship with a man who isn't doing it for her. Or maybe she just has red flags and that's why nobody has wifed her up. Whatever the case, these kinds of women will be the most aggressive and the first movers. The woman with a kid, a beta husband, red flags, etc. Maybe it's a woman who is tired of taking care of herself and she wants a naive guy to wife her up so she can stop trying in the gym. What happens is that guys who have little experience with women just don't have the perspective to realize what's going on. Maybe they even know the woman has red flags, but they are just so blinded by desire that they ignore them. Oftentimes, these women will position themselves as exactly what you want. They will be pleasant, sexually available, and super into you. They will often remind you that they are doing everything right to make sure you notice. All of this will fuck with your head because you'll be sitting there like, she's got a kid, but on the other hand, she cooks for me, she's super sweet, and she really likes me. You'll start wondering if maybe you found a unicorn who just happens to have a red flag. You've got to be wise enough to understand what's happening. She's doing all this stuff for you because she sees you as a catch. You're a rising star and she knows her options are limited. The fact that her options are limited is also why she will be the first mover. You won't be the first option of a woman you truly want for a couple more years. The fact that this woman has red flags is why she jumps first. So she's good to you because she sees you as the best option and she really wants this to work because she needs you. It's not because you found a unicorn, it's just because she's the first mover. She's hoping she can do enough to get you to settle for her. If you have the discipline to realize what's happening and not fall for this, the women you really want will start doing the same thing in a couple years. The first woman will not be the right one for you, despite what your mind tells you. The woman is going to try and weave into your mind this idea that the two of you are meant to be. Every woman does this when she wants to lock a guy down, and they are very good at convincing you. They will literally start telling you what your future is going to be like together. She starts getting the momentum going in the direction of a relationship, and she's going to make you stop the train, or it will just happen automatically, meaning that she's just going to keep future pacing what she wants, and it's going to be this awkward situation where you have to make her stop doing it or check her on it, or she's just going to keep doing it and you're going to end up following into that frame and you're just going to end up in a relationship with this woman. This is kind of how they do it. They're always future pacing what they want. Guys kind of do this too when they're trying to get sex. They'll try to like future pace sex. We're just not nearly as good at it as women are good at future pacing. They're very good at it. Save this post as a reminder when this starts happening to you. It's happened to me and all my friends. The ones who avoided the first mover were always better off. They got a better woman and a better life because they held out. You basically have to bet on your own future because there will be no evidence in the present. You'll be in a spot where you can fall for the first mover or go back to being single and grinding on your goals with no other prospects on the horizon. It's one of these moments where you get tested to see what kind of man you are. Do you really believe you can be that guy, or were you faking it and putting in all this work just to wife up a 31-year-old single mother? Imagine that. You stay single and boring for years. You build a business, get in shape, and level yourself up just to wife up a 5 out of 10 because she's the first girl to show you interest. It's idiotic when you think about it, but a lot of men on self improvement fall for it. So, in the video prior to this video, I started talking about this subject, and that's what inspired me to make this post because I wanted to discuss it in more detail. Because I think this is a really important conversation for us to have. It's a really important topic for you to understand, which is that, like, when you're a guy in your early 20s, you just don't do well with women for the most part. And so what happens is you're out here putting in all this work and your stock starts rising, and the first woman who shows you interest, you end up wifing up. And you just see this constantly. This happens all the time. So many guys fall for this, and it completely derails them from their purpose, and they end up settling for something so much lower than what they really wanted. It's just kind of like the same as, like, let's say that your dream car was a Ferrari and you were working really hard to get a Ferrari, and then somebody offered you a Honda for like 10% off, and you just took the Honda and never went and got the Ferrari. That's kind of what this is like. And you got to understand the reason this is so dangerous is because these women, what they're doing a lot of times is they're trying to drag you off of your life path and onto their life path. This is when this gets really dangerous, because usually what happens is, again, it's going to be women who have red flags. They have baggage. They're going to be the first movers. And the reason for this is because they just don't have the options that the women who don't have the baggage have, right? So it'll usually be like a decently attractive woman will start showing you interest while you're on your self-improvement journey, but she's going to have a kid. She's going to be older than you. She's going to have red flags. She's just going to have all this shit that you got to watch out for. Or truthfully, maybe she's attractive, but she's not the most attractive you could get. But you're so used to being a young guy who struggles with women that you haven't recalibrated to the man you have become. And so the 6 out of 10 seems like this really hot chick who's into you, but in reality, you could get a better woman. You're just not experienced enough to realize that yet. But anyways, these women are going to be the first ones to move, and usually they've got an agenda. And I don't mean that in a bad way, because everybody has an agenda. When you go on a date with a woman, you have an agenda. Everybody's got an agenda. But typically the agenda of these kinds of women usually is not the agenda that you want, right? It's going to be the 28-year-old woman who, or 30-year-old woman who feels like she's, over the hill a little bit, or she needs to find a husband now and she wants to get pregnant and have a kid, and you're not ready for that. And you're 25 years old and you're still grinding, but this is what she wants. And she's going to try and weave into your head the idea that you want to have kids with her. It's going to be the single mother who already has a kid. It's going to be, a lot of times this happens with married women. Married women, it's like a lot of times women will get married too young for themselves and they're really not mature. And so they're like in their early 30s or late 20s or maybe even late 30s in this kind of range. And they see some guy who's like a rising star, I guess you could say, who's in his like mid 20s or something. And he's finally starting to get his shit together. And they'll try and hitch a ride on that, right? Maybe they want it casually, but a lot of times they're looking to exit a relationship, or they're at least looking to get you sucked into their drama. They might not be serious about actually leaving their husband, but a lot of times like they'll try and convince you that like, oh, my husband, like they all have the same story, right? About how he's emotionally not available or he did this thing. And like every single woman who's cheating on her husband will tell you that like her husband cheated on her first. Like it's just how they fucking justify this type of shit to themselves. Like they'll tell you all these kinds of things and make out like they absolutely love you. And maybe they do. Maybe they are really emotionally invested in you, but like they're not really willing to blow up their family. But either way, they're going to suck you into this drama that you're now in, this fucking dynamic that you get sucked into. And it's because she don't want to lose you, but she also doesn't want to change, right? And so my point with that is, again, that's not a dynamic that you want to be in as a man. This is not a healthy place for you to be in. This is sucking you off your path. And basically what they're going to do is they're just going to drag you away from what you want. And you just see this happen so much, guys. Like you just see a guy who's like really headed somewhere and he just drops the ball because the first woman that showed him interest, he just didn't know what to do with it. And here's why this gets really difficult is because, you guys watch probably a lot of this like dating advice content, this red pill kind of shit, men's dating advice type stuff. And it'll tell you like all the like signs of a high quality woman. It'll tell you these kinds of things like a high quality woman isn't talking to other guys. A high quality woman, let's say she cooks or she's submissive and she's feminine and she's always available when you want to go on a date, like that kind of stuff. They'll tell you this makes for a high quality woman. And So what happens is you guys, you go through your early 20s, you're not attractive, you're not doing well with women, and you're getting left on red, you're getting standoffish behavior from women. And so the first mover woman that comes along here as you're leveling yourself up, she's not going to do any of that. She's going to do all the high quality things, the quote unquote high quality things. She's going to be submissive. She's going to cook. She's going to be pleasant. She's going to just try and make it as easy as possible for you to really like her. And this is going to fuck with your head because you're going to think that this means that she's this really high quality woman. But in reality, what it is like she needs you. She wants you. This is like her fucking best opportunity. Like she sees where you're going and she's trying to jump onto this basically right now. That's pretty much what she's doing. And she's going to make it as easy as possible for you to think that she's a catch. And so she's going to do everything, right? Like, I'm serious, guys. Like, I could probably, I think there's probably like 5 or 6 single mothers, like, on my Instagram right now that I could DM and just be like, come cook me dinner. And they would come cook me dinner right now. Like, because they need us, right? And you guys just, you're not used to this because you're a young man probably watching this. You haven't experienced this dynamic. But it's just going to happen. Like, you're going to get to the point where they're going to drop everything to be with you. If you level yourself up, just think about it. Like, the average guy's fat and broke and you're like building a career, you're in shape, you've got your shit together, you're intelligent, you're thinking for yourself, you're a masculine guy. Like, they're going to drop everything to be with you. And there's just not many of you. And so like, you're going to watch that they will start doing this kind of stuff. And in particular, the first movers are going to do it. They're going to be very aggressive about it. And so what happens, and like, I just want to kind of paint this picture of what to expect from this, because a lot of you guys, hopefully you haven't fallen for it already, but if you haven't experienced this yet, if you're working on yourself, this is going to happen. It's literally happened to every guy that I know personally, and it's happened to me as well. I'll even, after I'm done with this, I'll tell you kind of my own personal experience with this, because I've had this happen a couple of times at this point. But basically what's going to happen is you're so used to all of these like standoffish women who are pushing you away that you're going to find yourself in the spot where, let's say you've gone on a fitness transformation, you have a little bit of money, your confidence is up. Maybe you're in your office, you look like you're the rising star. You're the best guy in the sales department. You are the best, I don't know, whatever. You're the best in the office. You're the best looking guy in your office at this point. And that little 5 out of 10 office woman who's like 7 years older than you, like you're in close proximity to her all the time. And she's just going to start making all these moves and you're going to start feeling a little something too, because you're not used to this kind of thing. Or maybe it's a woman in the gym that you just keep flirting with and she's like married or some shit like that, but she's clearly interested in you. Like, these things are going to start happening to you. They're just going to. And you're going to start doing this thing and you're going to notice that this woman is just like super down for you. She's just like, you know, when you set a date, she's down to go on the date. You text her, she texts back fast. She's always available. She wants to do shit for you. She buys shit for you. She's going out of her way for you constantly, just trying to just make you like her and do all these things to make you like her. And it's going to make you like her. You're going to be like, oh, like, this is great. Like, because you're so used to all the bullshit. Now you've got this. And so she's going to hit you with all this stuff. And then at the same time, like I mentioned, they future pace what they want. So what they're going to do is they're going to start telling you about you two in a relationship, or she's going to be like, I love you. Don't you love me? And she's going to do all this shit to you. And she's going to basically try and pull at your emotions. And so essentially what they do, it's like a 3-part strategy. And again, I don't think this is that calculated. I just think this is female nature. When a woman likes a guy, this is what they're going to do. But you guys aren't used to it. And the first ones who are going to do it to you are the first mover women who you don't really want to be with. They're going to hit you with this 3-part strategy. Part 1 is they're going to show you all the signs of a high quality woman. And you got to understand, women know what a high quality woman is to a man. They're not stupid. They know what it is. They know how to get at you. And most of the time, especially when you're starting off here, these women have way more experience dating than you do. And so they know how to play this game. Like, that you are naive going in here when you're dealing with these women. And so they know how to position themselves as exactly what you would want, right? They know how to just do it for you. And they're playing this game to try and get what they want. So they're going to show you all the traits of a high quality woman. The next thing they're going to do is they are going to start future pacing what things are going to be like based on what she wants, which is usually going to be a commitment from you. And the third thing she's going to do is she's going to do all this shit to try and get your emotions involved. And it's this 3-part strategy, and you guys are going to be so fucking caught off guard by this because you're just not used to women doing this to you, because you're some young guy and maybe you had some crush in high school that you talked to a little bit and it was just silly shit and she was naive too. Or maybe you're just a guy who has just straight up struggled with women to this point, and it's just going to completely catch you off guard because she's going to be literally like, here, I'll tell you the most recent time this happened to me was like a little over a year ago at this point. I had this woman I worked with, and she was older than me. Again, this is going to happen a lot. It's usually going to be an older woman, I find, that does this kind of stuff, because usually like a 24-year-old woman with no baggage is she's going to pick somebody higher level. You haven't leveled yourself up enough. That's why we're just dealing with the first movers right now. But it's going to be some woman who's a little bit over the hill. She's got a kid. She's got red flags, whatever it is, or she really wants to settle down and she's tired of taking care of herself, and she's hoping that you'll just fall for her pussy and just go with her. Genuinely, this is what they're thinking and stuff like this. So the last time that this happened to me, I had this woman, and she was literally telling me that God told her what to name our children. Like, this is the type of shit these women are on, right? They'll just be like, God was telling me this. Like, I had this dream about what our kid was going to be called. Like, she was talking about how she had dreams about my eyes and all this. She was just telling me all this wild shit, right? And you guys are just not used to this kind of stuff. And you're just like, damn, this chick is like super fucking into me. And she's like buying me shit and just doing all this shit and just available constantly. And just like, and she's telling me at the same time, look at all these things I'm doing for you. Look how much I like you. Like, she's telling me all this shit. And so it's just trying to reinforce, again, they're trying to reinforce in your head that they are what you want. She's giving you all these signs of the high quality woman, but it's just like, just so happens that she's older than you and has a kid, right? And it's like, we're just going to like ignore that part. And she's going to try and like spin it into this emotional thing so that you're out of your logical brain. And this is what they do. So she will like start hitting me like this is what she did. She just kept asking me, I was like, don't you love me? Don't you do all these things? Like, don't you love me? Do you really love me? Do you love me? Like, she just kept asking me, do I fucking love her? And how much she loved me and all this type of bullshit. And what she's trying to do here is try and draw a bunch of feelings out of me. And this is what they're going to do to you too. They're trying to draw these feelings out of you because you're in this fucking wreck where you're just like, this girl's doing all this shit for you. She's super into you. She's just hyping you the fuck up, telling you how amazing you are. She's future pacing your life together and how amazing this is going to be. And she's basically doing all this shit to try and get you to like ignore the elephant in the room, which is like a fucking kid and she's too old. Right? Like, this is what they do. And like, it's a fucking like, it genuinely feels like you're in like a boxing fight and you just got caught with a fucking left hook. And you're just like, I'm going to take the rest of this round off. And like, you're just fucking bobbing and just hoping you don't get knocked the fuck out. That's how it feels because you're just not used to it. And women are so fucking good with the emotions. They are so good at the future pacing. They are so good at getting you into your feelings and doing all this shit. And they'll hit you at it from different angles, right? You guys are used to the woman giving you a hard fucking time. But when they want you, they will hit you with the other side. They'll get super emotional the other way. They will play the innocent fucking thing and they will play to you, Mr. Masculine Guy. She sees you coming from a mile away and she's going to play this fucking feminine thing and just act all fucking innocent and all this type of shit. And they know what they're doing with this shit. Again, it's funny. I'm not mad at them. It's just female nature. Guys are just fucking, when it comes to social shit, we are usually kind of stupid and they're just way better at this game. They are way better at the emotions. So they hit you with all this kind of stuff. And so you got to understand this kind of thing's going to happen to you. I had this happen another time not that long ago. Actually, this was the most recent time I had it. This woman who was 28 years old, and she just clearly was like ready for, like, she saw me as this shooting star and she wanted to have kids. And so it's like, now she's just ready for me to like wife her up and she's doing all this shit. And like, I could just tell. I was like, but I saw through this by this point. I was old enough and had enough experience at this point to see through this and just be like, this woman is not going to take care of herself physically. She wants me to put a bunch of kids in her and then she's just going to be this classic fucking Latina woman who turns into Shrek as she ages. Like, you know, that fucking meme about it, how like the Latina women are like smoking hot and then they get old and turn into a fucking burrito themselves, right? Like, that's the type of shit that starts happening, you know? But like, that's what I was dealing with here. And I'm kind of going on a rant. I hope this is funny and valuable to you guys. But basically what I'm getting at here is like, they're going to hit you with all this shit. They're going to hit you with all the reasons why this is like the greatest thing ever for you, why they are so great. They're going to try and basically get you to ignore the fact that they are like trying to manipulate you into this certain thing, and they're going to convince you how amazing this is. And you just got to like, and this is why this gets hard too, is because you guys are going to find that the first mover is the first mover, meaning that there are no other women showing you interest like this. And so you're going to be in the spot where you've been wanting a girlfriend for so long, and here comes this woman who's doing everything that you would want. And you're going to have to, in that moment, take a fucking step back, be logical, and not fall for this, and then continue being single, not having options with women, and staying fucking focused on improving yourself. And that's what's fucking tough. And this is why most guys, they settle for the 5 out of 10 girl. They settle for the girl who's really not what they want. They settle for the girl with a kid. They settle for the girl when they're not ready to settle down. They start having kids on a woman's timeline when they're not ready to have kids. They start doing all this shit because the thought of another couple years of being alone just fucking eats them up. And you got to be tougher than that, guys. Like, you just have to be. Seriously, because this is the thing that destroys most guys. Like, the number of guys I've seen who just, like, their trajectory was just fucking perfect. Like, they were going to make something of themselves, and then they get a woman, and next time I talk to them, suddenly they've got a dog, and they're talking about how, you know, they're ready to have kids, and, you know, they're really just done playing the games, right? They'll start making these fucking stories of how they're done playing the games. They're done with the grind. You know, life's really not about all this, you know, like, I'm happy, right? Like, and like, part of them still has that dog in them where they'll still every now and then just get fired up and be like, let's get fucking rich and let's just get after it. But that part of them has been subdued by some fucking 5 out of 10 chick. They fell for the trap. And they're just, you got to watch out for it, guys, because they will drag you completely off course. Like that one chick I was mentioning, the one who was older than me, who had the kid, who was trying to get me to fall for this shit. She's literally painting this vision of us being together. She's naming our kids and all this type of shit. And like, I don't want to have a fucking kid. I don't want to have a kid right now. But she, again, because she's older, and again, this is my point with this type of stuff, she's older, she has to have the kid now, right? And so they're trying to weave you into this fucking timeline and get you off your purpose and onto their shit. And they'll tell you everything you want to hear. They will tell you, I was with you when you were at the bottom, right? They'll tell you this kind of shit, even though they weren't, right? They're meeting you on your way up, but you haven't reached your peak yet. And they will try and pretend like they were there with you at the beginning, but they weren't. They'll say shit like that. They'll remind you of all the things they're doing. They will just, I'm telling you, they will do everything in their power to make it seem like you just found a fucking unicorn. They know what they're fucking doing here. And they're trying to make you think that she's so incredible. And just for whatever reason, she's got all this fuck shit going on the side, right? She's got the kid, she's got the baggage, she's married, and she's cheating on her husband with you. Like, whatever it is, like, this is the type of shit they're going to start pulling out on you. And you just got to be smart enough not to fall for it, guys. You cannot fall for it. You have to be mentally tough enough not to fall for it. Because literally, when I cut it off with that one chick I was mentioning, even both of those chicks that I mentioned, when I ended it with them, it was like I went back into like not having a ton of options. And I had to just go back out and start talking to more women again, right? And then you got to build it back up. And it was easier the most recent time because I had more options with women already. And so like it was easier for me to like know, like, okay, I know this will work. But like earlier on in my life when this kind of thing would happen, it was a lot more difficult because it's just like you see nothing else on the horizon. You could be looking at 2 years of fucking no girls being interested in you, because for you guys who are in your early 20s, that's probably the type of shit you're dealing with. And it's just like tough. But you have to be smart enough. You have this, it's like a stick or twist moment, as First Man will call it. It's this moment where you have to prove yourself. Are you really going to cash out now, or are you going to keep fucking moving? Did you do all this shit just for the first woman to show up to be the one that you wanted? You got to understand it like this, guys. You are trending up. And what's happened is you have reached a certain point when this happens to you. You have reached a certain point where a certain quality of woman is going to start seeing you as a catch. And so it's like she's here and you're trending up, and it's just like, boom, right there. Now she wants you. But you got to understand, if you just keep going up, there's another level of women up here that would do the same thing. But you just haven't gotten there yet. So you need to read the first mover as a sign that good things are coming, that you've been doing things right. Now you're starting to get some interest. Don't view her as a unicorn. View yourself as the unicorn, because you're the one who's leveling the fuck up. And that's why you're starting to get this interest. And you just got to understand, like, view it logically. Be like, okay, if I can get a 6 out of 10 woman with a kid to be interested, to be super into me right now, well, if I spend 2 more years leveling myself up, improving my charisma, improving my social skills, improving my money, improving my fitness, looks maxing, doing all this shit to make myself more high status, more attractive. Could I get an 8 out of 10 with no kid in a couple years to do this for me? You know, could I go from the fucking chick who's probably like over the hill, ready to have some kids right now, to the 24-year-old blonde who's just going to be super into me? Can I get that? And it's not all about physical attraction, but let's be fucking real. This is a big deal. Like, you didn't improve yourself just to get some average chick, right? You want an intelligent chick who doesn't have baggage. Like, you have put in the work on yourself. You deserve a woman who doesn't have baggage. I'm sorry, but that's just the case. And they're going to try and hit you with the emotions like you should ignore all that stuff in the name of love. This is why they're going to try and get you into your emotions, because you'll be like, yeah, I can ignore all these red flags because I love you. And they're going to try and get you into your feels because they're trying to get you to not think rationally here. But you got to just completely ignore that shit. Be rational and just be like, listen, like, I did not spend 3 years grinding. I did not, for me personally, it's like I was not homeless trying to figure out how to build businesses. I did not skip the fucking party phase and get jacked and go broke trying to figure out how to build businesses. I did not do all this shit. I haven't spent every fucking morning meditating and reading books and doing all this shit just so that I could wife you up with all your bullshit that you're bringing to the table. I'm sorry. Go find somebody who's on your level, because I'm not. I'm above you. And I don't mean that in some like super dickhead way, but just real shit, guys. Like, there's levels to the game, and you guys who are improving yourself, you're going to get to a high level. Do not fall for the first mover. Do not fall for the girl who's 36 and smokes weed and has never had a fucking serious long-term relationship that went anywhere. And you're like, oh, but she's a good girl. It's like, she's a good girl because you're all she's got. It's just stupid. Like, of course, it's like if you had one fucking job and you could never get paid to do anything else, you would make sure you didn't get fired from that job, wouldn't you? Like, this is what's going on here, guys. So do not fall for this. This destroys so many men, wrecks you completely off your purpose. Once you get the first movers, just understand it's a sign that you are about 2 years away from getting the really hot chicks to give you the same fucking treatment. So just stay locked in. It should be rocket fuel to get fucking focused and continue to improve yourself. Guys, if you want coaching from me to become unrecognizable, get your physique right, your mindset right, and become a completely different man in the next 60 days, click the link in the description to learn about the Life Maxed group. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe. I'll talk to you later.